This is a presentation of the Badlands Media Network. Wow, can y'all see me? Because my program is only showing my, okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is May 8th, 2023, and Ratligator Report, episode 81. If you are viewing this episode, you see the new logo that has been generated for the report. I'm extremely pleased with it. I thought we may go through a few iterations, but this looks good enough to me. I'm not sure I'm going to need to try and modify it further. Still no success on integrating my Yeti microphone. I'm not really worrying about it right now. And as you see, I've not modified my little intro. You know, this is a presentation of the Badlands Media Network. So it still has the old graphic. I'm not really worried about that either. But welcome. It's another beautiful day in creation. And it's going to be an eventful week, it seems to me. A lot of stuff is going on. As usual, I do want to check the initial chat, see how y'all are doing, what kind of response you have to the logo, and all that good stuff. Yeah, Dina, you like it? Okay, fantastic. Good morning, Nancy Patriot. Thank you. Thank you. Joe04, thank you. Yes, Disclosure Drip is on order. It's gonna be very interesting. I just don't know. And it's even internationally, you know, May 9th, I think it's when they do these little parades in the Russian sphere, celebrating, I don't know what they call the defeat of the Nazis, something like that. But are those parades going to go off without a hitch? We shall see. You spent $25,000 on it. My goodness, Flying Storm. You are a fan. Good morning, Eurythmic. Buenos dias, Postmiz. You love the, thank you. That pleases me. Yeah, Flying Storm. This is the thing. You typed so fast. You said FAMU is orange and blue. No, FAMU is orange and green. Gators are orange and blue. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Good morning in O'Brien, Wisconsin. Critter Sitter, thank you. Flying Storm, you got me on the Bluetooth. Bravo. Wednesday is press conference by Comer confirming Biden. Now, Eurythmic, this is the thing. Maybe we can even ramble on this a little bit. I am anticipating that Wednesday event, but it's going to be another one, I suspect, of those events where we kind of sort of have to still discern, okay, now, is this the straight up truth? Or is this some more process fakery? And here's the thing. And here's what we can't know. I've said before to y'all, I believe, Dawson S. Field is a very interesting follow for me on Twitter. And his threads can be incredibly informative. He's obviously knowledgeable. I suspect he's an operator of some sort or another. And whether he is or is not really that important to me. It's the information and that he provides. And he's of the opinion that Wednesday is going to be some fakery. I mean, that's a rough paraphrase of what he's saying. And because, of course, you got to understand his position. And it may be Rumble's not working for you this morning, Diana. It can be a little tricky. Good morning, Kinship Quest. Thank you, James P. Dustin. James P., ladies and gentlemen, I presume he doesn't mind. He's the guy who did the logo. Y'all give him some dap. He's in Jacksonville. We had a very good meeting the other day. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I told him he was a godsend because I had been looking to update the logo. That thing that you've seen was merely a placeholder. We were scrambling in October to get the network up and running, and that was put in just as a placeholder. And I just left it there. I wasn't really worried about it, but I did need it updated. I have a very talented nephew in Jacksonville who I wanted to sit down and do it and talk through it and all this, that, and the other. But that proved difficult. Getting together and then talking about COVID. This and it's like, okay, I cannot do this. So when James stepped forward with a mock up of what this thing could be, I jumped on it, and we sat down, we worked through some things, and we've got a good product. So I'm very pleased about that. Very, very pleased. Back to Wednesday and Dawson Esfield and all this. His orientation, Dawson's orientation, and I put him in a 5149 category. This is just the way I organize my thoughts, because he says he writes some really provocative stuff about a long-term sting and about swampy Washington, D.C., all of which rings true to me. It's just that he goes these bridges too far, in my estimation. And on, he said that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was swampy. Hell no. I am not buying that. And it's one of the things, I take all of this stuff in. I don't have to agree with you on every position you take. And this is why I give maximum dap only to two men, President Trump and General Flynn. Those are the only two I'm giving maximum dap to. Everybody else gets a healthy dose of healthy skepticism. And don't tell me Clarence Thomas is swampy. Not buying it. But I do know that Congress is the problem. We kind of forget Congress is the problem, because that is where they've been able to whore out what the founders put in place as representatives of the people, closely aligned with the people, and up for re-election every 2 years. This is the thing about my Schedule F imperative and the drip we're going to need to go through to switch out the Congress. Let's take a look at what happens Wednesday, and let's see what the fallout is or isn't. I just keep in mind, Donald Trump had to work with so many people in Congress and the Senate. Nominally, his supporters in the Republican Party who worked against him endlessly. And he had to navigate all of that. You see what happened with the fight for the speakership. The entire body wanted to go in one direction. That was not going to advance the ball for us, we the people. And he had some loyal soldiers from the Freedom Caucus, of which Ron DeSantis is a founding member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget that. Who held firm and got concessions from the speaker, serious concessions that upset the hell out of the Democrats and many, many, many rhinos. So we still need to hold these people accountable, and we need to keep our eye on. We need more than likely to switch out the Congress. It's likely going to take more than one session, one elective cycle. But we're also going to need to switch out the Senate, and that's a 6-year at minimum process. So let's see how this week goes. All of this Biden stuff, I will give Dawson. Here's the thing. I see all of this Hunter Biden stuff, and it just strikes me as implausible. A crack addict doing all of this, that, and the other, and having business in Ukraine and China, and it just is so much. It's just so much. And these articles, they've got the salacious stuff about him and other members of the Biden family. It's just so much. So I can see how this perhaps is some part of a long-term sting. I don't believe it, but I can see it. So, yeah, we still have to remain, vigilant. We have to try and discern, what the heck is what. We have to listen to President Trump and General Flynn and others, and just kind of sort it out, because there are narratives that play very clearly that seem implausible to me. So I just don't know what to think. And I'm okay with being confused. I'm totally okay with being confused. I don't need absolute answers right now. What I need is for us to be making tracks toward regaining control of the culture, regaining control of the Congress, regaining control of the state legislatures. And so that's where my focus is. I know we're going to get some surprises, good and bad, going forward, but yeah. Thank you, Diana. I don't know what you're asking, Nancy Page. What was the name? I don't remember what we're talking about there. Kinship Quest. Listen, this new logo is designed to kind of prompt me, in my own mind to get a little bit better at this stuff. But when you're still dealing with, I am fond of my Yeti, and I don't know why, but it does bug me that the damn thing is not working, even though I've got a workaround. Good news, O'Brien 96, on your daughter. Fantastic. Diana, here's the thing. It was in terms of who said Clarence Thomas was swampy. It was Dawson S. Field. You know, I have followed him for years. I encourage everybody to follow him. He is a very good follow, very interesting information, and he's definitely of the long-term Sting thought process, meaning the Trump family essentially has been working as an FBI asset for years. He's making the representation that the Biden family is doing the same, and that this is a manufactured narrative they've been using to ensnare worldwide money laundering enterprises from the criminal syndicate of criminal syndicates. Okay? That's his approach, and it is persuasive. You know, maybe I should, since some of you really don't do Twitter, maybe I'll just put his link in here and just remember healthy skepticism. Okay? We don't accept any of this stuff sight unseen. Well, I mean, good gracious, I'm doing a search and so many of his in Brave browser come up and it's been deleted. But here we go. So I will put this in the chat. We need to criticize him, critique him. Look, I'm not saying we need to get on Twitter and take issue with what he's putting forward. We take it in, and our discernment is within, you know, and within our community. We talk about it. What do you think about this, that, or the other? It's not about going on the attack on Twitter. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, and here, this is the 5149 in my mind, you know, where you balance things on, okay, do I believe this guy? Do I not believe this guy? And the 5149 isn't some indication of he's giving good information 51% of the time, he's giving bad information 40%. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are narratives at play in this information war. And some of the people participating in this war, just like us, have some provocative takes. The thing that is interesting about Dawson is he has a page on the internet where he's got years of threads that have been saved for your review to go back and check and ponder. So, you know, that's a interesting little service. He's got some people that follow him that raise some concern in my mind. That's just me. And but he always has an interesting take and is consistent on the money laundering angle around the globe. And so much of that you can see through prosecutions. Those are objective truths. And his little thing about, but nothing's happening, is a proper criticism of Black pillars and other people who just don't understand the way things work and the time involved to put together a complex prosecution. You know, tell me everything right freaking now. Drives me freaking crazy. And he's definitely not one of those people. But yeah, you telling me Clarence Thomas is swampy? Because no. You got a different definition of swampy than I have, which is what he will say is how they've gotten away with so much for decades, because you set teams and you misunderstand that there's essentially one controlling team. This has kind of been my thing about the Uniparty and Democrats, and it's not like the Democrats are driving the train, the Republicans are on the train. But the Democrats aren't driving the train independently. They are in service to the criminal syndicate of criminal syndicates. So he and I can have a lot of agreement on a lot of stuff. I just think he's a worthy follow. And I think if we can get more eyes from our community following him and contemplating what he's putting forward, critiquing it within ourselves, well and good. Well and good. So, yeah. And yeah, I do think Clarence Thomas is the most fearless and best justice on the court. I believe that. I believe he's leading the court right now. And they are in total fear of him. That's why they're trying to smear the hell out of him. This is how they do their modus operandi. They got to dirty you up. It doesn't matter if it's total lies, they have to dirty you up. Yeah, and it's they may have taken out Scalia. I don't know. They may have. You saw Alito raise the issue of assassination. I put nothing beyond these people. That's the thing. I mean, look, Eurythmic, here's the thing. There is potentially so much coming out, but this is going to be an interesting week. And hey, Thursday, we will have an interesting discussion on this network, this channel, about what happened Wednesday in Congress. We'll have a very interesting discussion because, and this is what I said to Dawson on Twitter. It's like, okay, this is an eventful week. You know, May 9th, Russia stuff, their parades, counteroffensive by Ukraine. Could be a lot of stuff happening. Could be a lot of stuff happening this week, internationally and nationally. But the Congress thing on Wednesday is going to be very interesting. Is so much coming out? You know, what is this thing about indicting Hunter to cloak Hunter and hide Hunter? The confusion is not what I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen, is the confusion is not going to go away. Not yet. We got quite a bit of work to do. We're going to have to stay steady on the case. And this was my thing about drip, drip, drip. And yes, they said drip, drip, flood. Okay. In some instances, yes, perhaps. In total, I don't know about that. I don't know. We have years of work to do. Flying storm. Thank you. I do need those prompts. The commercial. I do need those prompts. Oh Lord, we got a new image. But that is in the second half of the show. Okay. So I can go forward with and see if this thing still works. Y'all have to. Oh man, she gave me. Yeah, y'all gotta hang tight. Y'all gotta hang tight as I. Well, no, I've got that one. It's just a different script that's throwing me off. First ad. Hang in there with me, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their life. Mike didn't simply stop at creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream bed sheets. And they look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me. And this is crucial in my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton. It's called Giza. And it's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you will receive 50% off the Giza Dream sheets. This means you'll receive a set for as low as $29.98 using the promo code Badlands. All you have to do is go to mypillow.com and enter your promo code Badlands to see your preferred pricing. You'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, the MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Go to mypillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code Badlands. And next, we have our new friends from the Wellness Company. Over the last few months, you have heard a lot about spike protein. The truth is that when the mask mandates and shutdowns are little more than a distant memory, the legacy of COVID and the COVID-19 vaccines will continue to plague us in the form of spike protein. That's where the Wellness Company's Spike Support Formula can help. Whether you have been vaccinated or not, spike protein is something you should be concerned about. But the good news is that the Wellness Company has seen some really exciting research on how to best combat spike protein. Studies have shown that nattokinase and dandelion root extract are showing great potential in protecting you and your family from spike protein. Dr. Peter McCullough and the team at the Wellness Company have the only product on the market, Spike Support, that contains both nattokinase and dandelion root extract, as well as black sativa extract, green tea extract, and Irish sea moss. Go to spikedefend.com to order Spike Support today and use promo code Badlands for 10% off. That's spikedefend.com, promo code Badlands. Okay, now I wanted to, oh boy, I need to copy. I want to show you an article. I just want to link it in the chat. We're not going to dwell on it, I don't think, but having served as an analyst in the Florida legislature, I very much want you to see this kind of work product because, yeah, I'm on the wrong, because people don't understand just how important, I try to say to folks, just how important the legislature is, all 50 of them, and the fact that they are the closest sovereign to you, and they are the most impactful sovereign in your world. State government. We just have it upside down, and we've thought so much about the federal government, and we've allowed the federal government to get way too large, way too involved in all 50 states, way too impactful. But it does start with your local member of the state legislature. They're driving the train. And so I wanted to put a link in the chat so that you can see what a wrap-up looks like from a mainstream media type operation and mindset. Give me just 1 second. You know, the thing that always throws me is I set it up on my laptop or whatever I'm going to be using for the show, and then the other thing, I watch you and see what you see on another device, and so that's where I have to put it into the chat. I hope that makes sense to you. But and it just sometimes throws my old brain off because I put it anyway. Why am I trying to explain to you? Let me just find the damn link of what I want to show you. Because it's a wrap up. I found it very interesting. I don't think just because, you know, I'm a Florida boy and this is our legislature closing down, and it's representative. Yeah, it's representative of every state. Same thing applies in every state. And what I said, I'm going to put this link in here. I think you should save the link. I think you should read through it, whether you're in Florida or not, just for the broad range of what a legislature does is involved with the the special interests that surround them, lobby them. I am, and I'm not kidding about this. I am a fan of those people who do take on the burden of being a public servant in the legislature or a chief executive. That is work. Now, we can have a certain orientation towards them and a certain feeling about them, but it's work. And, people have genuine interest, earnest interest, and they are competing quite often with others who are likewise situated. And these people have to make a call. They have to make a decision. They have to work through their party politics. That's what I've tried to say to people about Ron DeSantis and some of this foolishness people have talked, this casual foolishness people have talked about Ron DeSantis as though he's, what? Not just chief executive, he's the decider of it. There's a legislature jealous of its power, and no chief executive of any state ignores the legislature unless they are idiots. You have to work through and deal with the legislature you have. That's just a fact of the matter. So, but here's the thing. I almost do want to walk through. It's a long ass piece, but it does indicate a lot. Where the mainstream orientation is, how they look at Ron DeSantis in this state. They do see him as an enemy, and they have to acknowledge he has been tremendously successful this legislative session. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Tremendously successful, and he's done tremendously good work, as have the Republican-led state legislature. Now, we're going to need to switch, them out too, if they're not getting on board with the agenda, of returning power to the people and getting some of the largesse out. I think our state budget this year came in at like $117 billion. I seem to remember when I was working in the legislature in the late 90s, it probably was in the, I don't know what, $80 billion range, somewhere thereabouts. So it's almost $40 billion more. And this is a state with no income tax, but you pay fees. This is the trade-off. There are fees that you pay in every state that has no state income tax. I suspect you pay them in the states that do have state income taxes too. But we have a humongous state budget is what I'm getting at. Let me see if I can just show you before I get too off track. I want to just show you, share the screen, and show you this website. This is what we have, and wow! Oh, I'm going back to the beginning of my show. So here's the thing, and they do this every year. Multiple publications in Florida. I'm sure it's the same in your state. Winners and losers emerging out of the legislative session, and so. And they just, they come and they walk you through the winners and losers. They preface everything and then they jump right in. And then they're going to be Florida specific people. Okay. Speaker of the House, You have all of these different little positions that are incredibly important. Okay, and they just walk through all kinds of specific people. To me, this may be the nerdacious part of me. This is fascinating reading. I have stepped out of following the legislature like I used to. I didn't even know this year, really and truly, who the Speaker of the House was and who the President of the Senate was. I just didn't know. And so I'm reading this and it's like, oh, okay, here's where these people are coming from. This is what they've been doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to come down. I saw something and I should have. Okay, they're talking about definite winners. Um, and of course, they frame everything from a left wing mindset. That's to be expected. Um, but what did they have? They had a mixed bag. They had something on DeSantis that I just wanted to read. I may have to give it up and just do it tomorrow. Uh, Pull it out, make an image or something, because this is a long ass article. But again, if you just read through this, you can't help but come away from getting a better understanding of how state legislatures are far more impactful in your everyday life than Congress is. It's just not even close. And so we have to return focus there. And we have to get the state legislatures to do their damn job. They failed in this entire pandemic situation. People talk about Ron DeSantis when he signed off on, the lockdown. Come on, people. These people played a very good game. They put him in a very funny position. We have major metropolitan areas in this state, which means the Democrat Party is a municipal party and they heavily influence what the legislature is doing because they've got the majority of legislators. It's a straight fact. Population centers are incredibly important in the legislature. They have more members. It's just a matter of whether they are, yeah, let me leave this alone. It's just a matter of whether they are organized or not. That's really what happens in the legislature. You see whether areas have some type of continuity and these politicians can work together. In our state, the Tampa Bay area, oh my goodness, they've been at war with one another. Pinellas County, people don't understand that, is a large county population wise. And Pinellas County, which is St. Petersburg, Clearwater, all of that, and Hillsborough County, which is Tampa. Tampa has always wanted to drive the train. And Tampa, you can't tell Tampa that they don't drive the train. But Pinellas has such a population center, and Pinellas has been historically in Florida a Republican center of power. People would say rhinos, but that's where Charlie Crist is from. So it's been very interesting. You just see, and the same thing in South Florida. Miami-Dade can really get into it with Broward and Palm Beach, but you should study your legislature. You should be deeply aware of your legislature in this MAGA movement. People think federally, people think nationally, but the real deal, this is why General Flynn is focused on local action. The real deal is in your local community, flying up to your legislature. The flow from your local community up to your legislature and what's important there. What are these people getting away with? This is why Ron DeSantis has been so important to me and effective. You can't believe how pissed off these people are at what he did with Disney. If you read through that document, you will see, you just feel the anger they have about what he did with Disney. But any idiot can see that wasn't Disney just using their First Amendment rights. That was Disney being outrageously influential in setting a narrative that was totally against we the people, when they were in a position that they had been benefited like no other corporation in this nation. And Ron DeSantis, I'm sure, with some consultation with Donald Trump, did the right thing and said, "Who the hell are you, motherfucker? This is the great state of Florida. We do not give a damn about some United Kingdom bullshit. You do whatever little funky steps you want, you will lose. Period." So, but they're pissed. He has dared to stare the corporatist industrial complex in the face and say, "We do not give a damn about you." It's a new day, and it needed to be said. And bet your bottom dollar they saw that across the nation. Okay. We are on the march, and you see this now with Anheuser-Busch. There's no way in hell the majority of Anheuser-Busch workers. I have an uncle who retired from Anheuser-Busch. They have a big plant in Jacksonville. There's no way in hell the majority of Anheuser-Busch was down with this craziness of them pimping this idiot boy, flirting around like he's a chick. There's just no way in hell. But they signed off on it at the top. They're going to regret that. And we have to deliver punishment in that kind of way continuously as we move forward. Continuously. Get your ass out of line. Pay the consequences. Period. Free speech, yeah, it has consequences. That's the real deal. So let me, it just upsets me so. It upsets me so. Yeah, yeah. Listen now, here's the thing about Clarence Thomas and his wife, Jenny. A lot of people may not know this, but Jenny is very political, which is her right, okay, as an American citizen. Her being very political does not mean that Justice Thomas is very political. She has the freedom to go do X, Y, and Z, and he, as her husband, has the freedom to participate as a family unit. He's reporting whatever this nonsense is, and they gin up BS when they try and smear somebody and take them down, as if you can't be a normal married couple and your wife has an interest over here in doing this, that, or the other. You can't participate? Really? That's bullshit. Here's the thing, Diana, you're not familiar with Dawson. Most people aren't. And that's one reason why I am bringing him up. That's a pseudonymous. That is not his name. And there's a history behind why he chose that name. Okay, I'm not getting into that now. I'm not trying to pimp Dawson S. Field. I'm simply saying the Twitter space is the battle space. And that's an individual you need to be aware of. That's an individual you need to periodically read and see what is he tweeting, what is he retweeting, what is he commenting on. Okay. And this weekend, he specifically interacted with me about this Wednesday meeting in Congress. He has a certain orientation on it. You can go back and take a look from that link. Just, man, I put my mug right up on the camera. Good gracious alive, I have to be careful about that. Anyway, yeah, we need to read him. We need to read a range of people, including people who are contrary to our position, people on the left. I saw a video. I started to post it. It's like, what was this guy's name? I can't remember his name. But I had seen him on Patrick Bet David's little valuetainment or whatever that is. And I saw him on Lex Friedman, sitting up there bragging about some of the attributes of Joe Biden. Wow. And then I just, you see some of these people and you can see they're operators, they're agitators, they're partisans. That's that guy. And typical Democrat, just a very typical Democrat. And it's the kind of show where you can see, okay, yeah, Lex is center left. He's definitely center left in his orientation. Love the guy, enjoy watching his podcast, but you can just tell. Anyway, read him. I'd be very interested to have some occasional conversation here on something that he may have tweeted. Um, but he regularly has an orientation that damns basically everybody in DC, everybody, and is very solid that there's been a long-term money laundering sting around the globe, and you can see evidence of it. And the question is, I said to Kyle, look, we have to, because Kyle is very much agreeable with Dawson Isfield on a wide range of things, like I am. But I said to Kyle, we got to, I don't know, man. This guy goes a bridge too far. And there is the possibility that he is so knowledgeable because he's been in a position to know some things, even though this may be something of a tactical retreat where, you give people enough, you admit to enough, but you're still holding out to be able to deliver something of a truly deflating blow at a strategic time. So all I'm saying there is, I don't know the guy. You don't know the guy. None of us know the guy. And yeah, when I see a bridge too far, it's a bridge too far. I don't have to believe it or really disbelieve it. I'm content saying I have two men who I give maximum dap to, President Trump and General Flynn. I can wait on them to tell me X, Y, or Z. I can wait on that while doing my job locally by doing the show, interacting with friends, keeping an eye out on local politics and state and federal. So, this is how I see my role, and how I plan on staying in the fight for years. So, yeah, I've got tremendous patience, but that patience includes interacting with people who have contrary thoughts, even as supporters. You will certainly notice within Badlands there are contrary thoughts on, what the heck is what. I got really, as you know, Russia bugs me, and I was saying to a guy on Twitter, I think over the weekend, look, Russia is in deep, deep trouble from my vantage point. And I am really intrigued by this counteroffensive that the Ukrainians are going to do. I'm intrigued by the Bakhmut situation. I think there's some fakery going on there with this Prigozhin guy and his bitching and moaning about not getting it. There's a lot of fakery going on in this Ukraine and Russia fight. But I still, until proven otherwise, my operating position is we have baited Russia into seriously overextending itself. It wants to be what the United States of America is, and it cannot be. It just cannot be. They have limited resources. They've had to commit so much to this Ukraine fight. So now what are you going to do in Syria? Now what are you going to do in Kazakhstan? You do understand that the Chinese view themselves as necessary for you, so much so that you are inching toward becoming a vassal state of the Chinese. Think about that. Russia has been put in a very, very difficult position, and humility is their only choice from my vantage point. We can talk all of this stuff all you want. They have imperial mindsets that belong to the 19th century, and they haven't figured that out. So they're going to be forced to figure that out. They're not going to have a choice. They are in deep, deep trouble. And if one of these northern nations gives Ukraine F-16s, as is being speculated, their ass is grass in Ukraine, to me. So, yeah. Yeah, Flying Storm, you do understand why he wasn't picked for Chief Justice. Yeah, I think you do. It's a deep state reason why Judge Roberts is far more amenable. Clarence Thomas has a certain position. It is strikingly, you know, he's not bound by precedent and what these other people have done when they stepped out of their lane, and now he knows he's not a slave to that precedent. If your ass got out of your lane as a judicial branch, that precedent is invalid, and that's what he's lining up. And so, anyway, we have, okay, I need to do these other two ads. Oh man, that's right. I was supposed to, while I was rambling, I was supposed to download. I humor myself sometimes, you know. Y'all have to understand that. I make these honest, stupid mistakes, and all I can do is laugh at my silly behind for not having done the prep. And had this ready to go when I knew damn well I was going to have to do so. But let me try and bring in this overlay. Let's see if technology works for me. So I can stay on the good foot. And technology is working. Have mercy. So let's load this bad boy and see if we can get a new advertiser on the show. This, ladies and gentlemen, is nobugsbrief.com. We want to welcome them as a new advertiser. Let's face facts. America's supply chain is going to be increasingly disrupted in the coming months, which means it's not if we'll have a food shortage, it's when. Having enough protein to feed your family for several months is essential for your survival. That's why we've partnered with nobugsbeef.com. They provide sous vide, freeze-dried, all-American beef from ranches in Texas that have never, ever given their cows an mRNA jab. The beef, stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers for maximum shelf life, will stay shelf stable for more than 10 years without refrigeration and with maximum nutrition and flavor. All you need to do is soak it in water for 15 minutes and it's ready to eat. These are not typical survival meals. They're premium cuts of ribeye, New York strip, tenderloin, sirloin, and chuck. Get your family ready for the chaos at nobugsbeef.com and use the promo code BADLANDS for an additional 10% off your order. That's nobugsbeef.com, promo code BADLANDS. And just as a quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, please check out the Badlands Marketplace on badlandsmedia.tv, where you will find nobugsbeef.com and a growing number of America First businesses listed there. Please help us build our national parallel economy by shopping America first. All right. That's some interesting product right there. 10 years. Wow. Just soak it in water. Okay. Let me do my final ad with our friend Kirk Elliott.
Silicon Valley Bank debacle demonstrated just how fragile our banking system can be. We don't know what the future holds, but history has shown us that physical gold and silver are a reliable store of value to protect your wealth. Don't let fear of the unknown paralyze you. Take the first step towards securing your financial future. Reach out to Kirk and his team at kirkelliottphd.com/badlands. That's kirkelliottphd.com/badlands.
Okay, so yeah, Kirk Elliott, we remain constant with him. I had thought about doing the Jason P. Lowry thread. He did a phenomenal thread over the weekend. I will do that tomorrow. But in my copy of Soft War, I had ordered a copy. It came last week, and big ass, but it may not be as big as I thought in terms of text. There are a bunch of images and stuff, and the type is of sufficient size. I walked through every chapter and subcomponent of the chapter over the weekend, just in terms of creating a grid, not reading it. And me being me, it's highly unlikely I'm just going to sit down and read that damn thing. But I will brief it, you know, first sentence, you know, I will race through it. And but it is very interesting stuff. And this guy, I just think, wow, I see the hand of Trump. I just see, you know, the hand of Trump with this Bitcoin stuff. And the fact that this man has been at MIT working on this. This man is in the Space Force. Donald Trump worked so hard to bring the Space Force to fruition. And to this day, I don't think people realize, you know, look, as an Army man, a proud, proud Army man, these services are jealous of their territory. And Donald Trump just went totally around them in jaw-dropping fashion. You just can't do what he did. And the fact that he did it speaks volumes to me. The creation of the Space Force, listen, the Army had their own little space element, the Navy, the Air Force, okay? And he just created the Space Force and said, all of y'all are gonna now, all of those elements will be transferred into the Space Force. Wow, that's humongous. People still don't realize just how important it was, the creation of the Space Force. And so now cyberspace obviously was a humongous focus of Donald Trump. And I don't think people talked about it much. I think there's a reason why he's obviously supportive of Elon. There's a reason why Elon has purchased Twitter. There is a battle plan. I don't give a damn whether they ever admit it to me or us. There is a battle plan, and cyberspace is crucial. We have an unassailable lead in cyberspace. That's just all there is to it. And when I talk about humility coming to Russia, that's going to be one of the reasons it comes. I think you can bet your bottom dollar on that. So, anywho, there we are. More on that tomorrow when I read through this Jason Lowry thread. And I also, tomorrow again, May 9th, could be a very interesting day. How do those parades go off in the Russian sphere? Do they go off? Is there some major event in the Ukraine-Russia war? That's quite possible. I don't know. But this week this week could be so fascinating. And of course, Wednesday in the aftermath of the congressional hearing should prove fascinating. I can't wait to have some discussion with you about all of that as this week evolves. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the compliments on the graphic, logo, everything is on the up and up. I feel we are moving forward. I just need Elon to unsuspend my original account. I guess I'll put in another appeal. Anyway, see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning. Later, Gators.